So I finally got a high-speed camera. We're going to do some cool stuff with this. But I learned a few do's and don'ts. So anybody who's thinking about buying one of these Chronos cameras, they're actually really cool. They're made by an engineer up in Canada. I think that's how you pronounce it. They can't make up their mind because they want to be Canadian, but Canada. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, a couple things I learned really quick. Number one thing, if you're shooting outside, make sure your infrared filter is on. I made that mistake. I bought this secondhand, and the person I got it from had removed the infrared filter, and I didn't know that. So I was just trying to play with it in my backyard and see how functions worked and figure out some options and features and learn how to work it before I took it to the range, and everything was magenta. You can see right here, here's a shot of my dog in the backyard. This is horrible. And it was all magenta, and I couldn't figure out, and I thought something was wrong. Maybe I had a bad lens. Turned out I needed to have my infrared filter on the camera because the sunlight just wreaks havoc with it. Another thing I learned is the faster you go, you need a lot more light. So I've got some footage here that we're going to show that's the first stuff that we've shot, and it's really cool. We're just comparing 9mm versus a 460 Magnum, and it's really cool, but I couldn't quite catch the bullet, and we're filming at about 3,096 frames a second. And I'll show that footage right here, and you can see the recoil in the hand. You can see the flash as it starts to happen even in the cylinder gap, and you can even see, if you look real close right here, you can see the shock wave that is beyond the actual muzzle flash. So that's really cool, but I couldn't catch the bullet. So we need to bump the speed up, and that means I had to buy some more lighting. I bought something really cool. It's a little expensive, so if any of you know my wife, don't tell her. I told her it was $50. She doesn't know, so let's just keep it that way. Another interesting thing is you need a lot of light, and your f-stop, you want to have the lowest number you can, so this lens has a 1.2 on it. But the downside to that is, if you're new to photography, the lower your f-stop number, the larger your iris is, the more light you're allowing to come in, which also limits your focal depth. So if you ever see a photograph, actually I can try to find one on Google, just Google Images, and I'll just put it right here. This is what they call bokeh. So you'll see like the subject in the front is in focus and everything behind is completely out of focus. And that's by having a really short focal length. The problem with that is that if you're filming a moving subject, it's not going to be in focus except at certain spots. So once I threw my infrared filter on, I got all excited and I ran outside. I threw the camera on a tripod and I threw my tennis ball in the backyard and let the dog go get it, and sure enough, he was out of frame and he was out of focus. But that's a learning curve. But it's interesting seeing his little ears flop at like, I think it's at 4,000 frames a second. But we're going to try to film some even higher rate stuff and see if we can actually catch some bullets coming out. We're going to do some cool stuff. I'm going to be making a part 3 of the Springfield rifle build, because I've gotten emails and some comments from people asking, you know, why am I not shooting it at 50 yards? Because a lot of people test 22s at 50 yards, not at 100. I'm going to film part 3 of the Springfield rifle, the little 22, and I'm going to see if I can get some impacts on target in slow-mo and actually catch the bullets in midair. I got a couple different lenses I'm going to try out, so that'll be fun. We got some ideas of some interesting things that I want to film. My son, you know, for his 12th birthday, he got a Barrett 50 cal, so I want to shoot that. And I'm not really worried so much about what the gun is doing. I actually want to see like the human body under recoil. I think that'd be really neat in high speed. But I'm open to ideas. Any ideas? People want to see some cool high speed stuff. I'm open to ideas. I'm limited on what I can film at my range. They have extremely FUD rules, so it's very restrictive. But I do plan on at least doing some really big caliber stuff, some 500 Magnum, 50 Desert Eagle, bunch of that different stuff, and showing the recoil in slow motion and the fireballs. Hopefully it comes out pretty cool. Now I will show the complete footage of just these two side by side. We just shot a SIG M18, and oddly enough it didn't go off by itself. Didn't even have to jam a screw in the trigger. I just used the trigger and it works like it's supposed to. And we shot the M18, did that in slow-mo. It's only 3,000 frames a second, and the 460 Magnum. And it looks pretty cool, but it'd be really cool if I can catch the bullet coming out. So we need to bump up the speed. I think we might have to get up around 8,000 frames a second to catch that.